we all just we got a day off when we got back, and we had to lock in yesterday for our first practice. It was a little intense, but I feel like it's what we needed.
How much does that intensity kind of set the stage for getting back together and getting back to how you guys were playing before this trip?
Yeah, I think we're all just using it as motivation to continue to get better and focus on our flaws.
How do you obviously the season's gone well at this point. You guys are still 18-4. How do you guys kind of put in perspective just that the season still has gone well, but also realize that the way you guys played maybe on the West Coast was not, just kind of make sure that you guys are handling it and not being too upset about the losses, but also understand there's things to get better at.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some is kind of our mindset. Obviously, we do want to win, but excuse me, we're just focusing on what we need to, like unforced turnovers, which is what we had a lot of versus UCLA. So we just have to fix those little things, and we'll be all right.
You talk about focus on your flaws, and you kind of just answered that in your last question. What do you think the team's shortcomings are at this point?
Definitely unforced turnovers and just getting open on offense. That's what we're struggling with right now.
You yourself, you kind of, I think you had 23 points over 2 games there. So you had a successful full weekend. Just what have you kind of felt like has maybe opened up for you from an offensive standpoint? Obviously, your rebounding's been there for the majority of it, but it seems like you're getting more comfortable with the scoring aspect.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting more comfortable. I'm kind of not overthinking as much, and I'm shooting my shot now, like the mid-range. And when I'm allowed to, I step out on the perimeter and shoot my shot there.
How much does, particularly everybody who's still coming off the bench with Taylor out, kind of everything tightens up, the margin for error tightens up and everything? How much do you guys feel maybe better under your feet, under you more to handle that moving forward?
We're young, so we're all still learning. We're using Taylor for any questions and advice that we need, so we're still just growing as a team.
How nice is it to get back tomorrow night and be back here at Carver and maybe have that help be kind of the bounce back with what the crowd will probably be?
It's really exciting to be back here and playing. Our fan base is amazing, which I feel like does really help us a lot in intense games.
Outside of not overthinking, what else has changed about you since day one?
I feel like my work ethic, I'm in the gym all the time now, which in the beginning of the season wasn't really, I wasn't in the gym as much as I am now.
Is it something that your coaches told you, or is it something that you made your own decision about?
Just my own decision. I realized that if I want to be at this next level, I have to put in a lot more work.
Outside of the West Coast trip, was there a moment you felt more comfortable offensively?
The USC game, I don't know, I kind of just got in a flow that game, and I just felt really comfortable.
Kylie, how have you seen Journey grow?
Yeah, she's one of those players that's just super gritty. So she gets all the little things done, and she keeps the ball alive. When there's a ball in the air, I think she's going to be the one to get it. She has, I like to say she has glue on her hands. But
What's kind of the key to, I guess, finding productive urgency from this past week?
yeah, I think just learning from our errors throughout those games, it's a really good time to reflect on what we can do better and bring it into the next, 7 regular season games or so. So while the outcome was negative, I think there's a lot of positives that you can take out of it.
How do you guys at this point especially with you as a veteran that's kind of been through stretches of losses, wins, losses, told Journey you guys are still 18-4, so the season to this point has still gone well, but how do you guys address some of the things that went wrong on the West Coast while still understanding that the season has gone very well?
Yeah, I think Coach did a great job at just expressing that to us yesterday. Just continuing to focus on those little things that we can continue to work on, but even looking back at the film from these past couple of games, a lot of it was on our end and it wasn't necessarily on the other team's end. So that's really positive because that means that we can control it. So just bringing the things that we can control into the other games and in a better way.
Defensively, what are kind of the biggest adjustments moving forward? Obviously, you guys have been playing really well up to this point, had to adjust with Taylor and all that. Just what's kind of the key to reestablishing that consistency?
I think scout discipline is really important. I think when you know who you're guarding and how to guard them, that's really important. So just staying really locked in on each of the girls and making sure that we hold each other accountable and telling each other who does what and so they remember. But I think that's the most important thing. Once you kind of know what each player is going to do, that really helps all the other players.
Obviously, the results weren't what you guys wanted, but Journey was someone that stepped up from a scoring standpoint. I think Taylor Strom only 4 or 5 threes during the trip. Just how important was it to see them get going a little bit when you do have Taylor McCabe out right now?
Yeah, we always say it, but it's always you get the next person up. So they do a great job. They put in all the extra work that they need to in order to be prepared for when their time comes. And so we all have the 100% respect for them. And so we trust that they're going to get in there and do their thing. And there's a lot of work that they put in that you don't see. And so we see it. And so, yeah, we never doubt them.
What's different about Taylor's terminal now in her second season?
I think her confidence is just continuing to grow. And there's a lot of information when you come into college basketball outside of just even the sport. It's just a lot of information. And she's just been a sponge every single day. She keeps taking everything in and adding that along with her extra work and work ethic. Yeah, she's just continuing to flourish.
This could be for either one of you, but USC scored 19 points off your guys' 13 turnovers in that game. What do you think made those turnovers so particularly costly?
Get it? Yeah, I think that we have played a lot of pressure teams, but for some reason it just didn't go our way. And so handling that pressure is going to be really important. We play a lot of good teams, obviously, down the road. So just continuing to stay focused on what we can and just handling that pressure. But once again, that's something that we can control. So it's a negative that happened, but it's also positive to know that we can change it.
Kylie, is this the best Minnesota team you faced?
Is this what?
Is this the best team that Minnesota's had since you've been here?
It's got to be. They work hard. They're a gritty team. Coach Jay was saying that yesterday, too. They have just obviously a lot of scoring threats. They all average around kind of the same amount. They can shoot pretty well, but they just don't give up. They're the type of team that you can't just let up on. So staying focused for those full 40 minutes is going to be really important.
You mentioned some of the things that you guys control. Minnesota loves to play games in the low 60s. Really shorten the game. Just how important are some of those things that you guys can control, whether it's unforced turnovers, things like that, things that'll be magnified if the game is played in the 50s or 60s?
Yep, limiting their threes, limiting the unforced turnovers, and also just pushing, just doing Iowa basketball, like pushing up the floor 1 to 2 to 5, whatever it is, but doing what our game is, whether that is the pushing or shutting down their threes, because they can get hot really quickly.
Those unforced turnovers, is that a mental thing? Is that a sense of urgency? Like, where does that come from?
I think we have people we want to hit, and so when we want to feed the post, for example, sometimes we might lock in on that we don't realize that there's someone there or whatever it is. So just knowing the time and place of when to pass the ball to the posts and the timing of it, and but if it does get turned over, just move on to the next possession.
You guys unfortunately have as many seniors in street clothes as you do in uniform moving forward. I know that's been a big part of this season for you, is kind of the veteran voice, stability, all that. How much does it get kind of amplified even more, knowing that you guys are on the cusp of some big things with the young team?
Yeah, I think their voices are equally as strong as they are if they're on the floor or off the floor, and continuing to lead. There's just such a young team this year with Iowa, and so just continuing to spread our wisdom to them and continuing to trust the process and the Iowa culture and whatever it is, and just doing the little things because it is a day-by-day process. And so I think that's just the most important thing.
So it is National Girls and Women in Sports Day. To be role models, what does that mean to the two of you?
To me, I just find myself like I'm the example now. Like I'm not the young. I still do look up to older women, but I kind of am like a role model now. So I just make sure in all my actions, like I work hard, I support my teammates, I cheer everybody on. So I just want to be somebody that young girls look up to.
Same.